Hey guys, COMPUTEROSIS here. Welcome to another episode of Let's Play Kingdom Hearts finally in HD. You know who I am. I just saw this and we have reached the point in the episode where we're going to be going like our extensive, well, except for the next episode. The next episode is like will be less than that. But then the other two episodes after that,
No vessel,
hours
no help from the Heartless. So tell me,
debating about
how'd you get
the
here?
final episode. So, because
simply
I am going to
believed
plan to be back the last episode.
nothing more to it.
I just want to see how long.
When our world fell into darkness, Belle was taken from me.
I'm done saying
I
what
vowed
said.
I would find her again,
Makes
no
sense.
matter
I'm
what
just
the
wrap up
cost.
all the ideas I have for the game
I
and
believed I would find her.
stuff like that before it's
So
out there.
here I
So
am.
that will
She
actually
must be
the
here.
only time where
I
that
will have her back.
and not
Take
just
her if
drag
you
on,
can.
just fade. Just fade. So, so of course, this whole thing is just going to Hallow Bastion for the first time, where, well, of course, all you guys out there, I'm sure you all know this. This is where
you
Sword
finally
gets
made
the
it.
Keyblade. He gets the wooden
About time.
sword.
I've been
and
waiting for you.
basically, Beast is basically.
We've always been rivals, haven't we?
equivalent to.
You've
Ansem
always pushed
Guardian.
me, as I've always pushed you.
Just tell him attack,
Riku.
attack,
But it all
triangle,
ends here.
triangle.
There
Oh,
can't
yeah,
be two
that's right.
Keyblade Masters.
Most people don't realize. Most people still don't realize that the triangle button.
What are you
actually
talking
used
about?
As a
Let
rally
the
button.
Keyblade choose.
Well,
It's
I
true
now-
master.
I think people who have played 1.5, especially Final Fantasy HD, have finally realized that the triangle button does make your party members
Maleficent
get
was
more
right.
active and actually start.
You don't have
helping
what
out
it
with
takes
being
to
a
save
training
Kyrie.
guard, too. So I feel
It's up to
sorry
me.
for those that have realized that
Only the
while
Keyblade
doing
Master
the
can open the secret door
motherfuckers,
and change the
mushroom
world.
motherfuckers, and trying to get that one dressing
But that's
thing,
impossible.
which,
How did this
looking
happen?
back, at my
I'm the one who
proud
fought my way here with the
proud one, I had
Keyblade.
like 17
You were
MP
just
on
a
hand,
delivery
and
boy.
my magic
Sorry,
summoning was just,
Your part's over now.
was just through the roof. I mean,
Here, go play
God
hero
damn.
with this.
I could have easily gotten 100, but I saw no point because the item it dropped was more of an optional item. It wasn't an item that you needed in order to fully get all the trophies in this game. You just needed all of the basic equipment, the items that you can buy and synthesize, and then the rest are pretty much just handed to you story-wise. Or they're just in a treasure chest. Not so much from an enemy, except for the Wizrobes and defenders. Those are defenders where they drop the wizard staff and then the defender shield respectively, which are pretty powerful until
Hey,
I
don't
think
move.
it's
You're
after
hurt.
you synthesize
Why?
it's either you synthesize
did
the
you-
Don Goofy's
You come
weapons
here
or the Save the
I
King,
came
Save the Queen thing,
to
or
fight
it
for
could be
Belle.
different final ones. I'm not sure, because I know one has the maximum amount of MP, maximum amount of base MP they can
I
get,
will
based
fight.
solely on just the weapon alone.
I won't
when
leave
they
without
have something
her.
equipped. And then the
That's
other one
why
is
I'm
their
here.
base highest attack if there's nothing equipped or anything like that. So there's that. Before I continued on
Me
to
too.
this, what I originally
I'm
had
not gonna
planned
give up
was
now. I came here to find
I was
someone
gonna
very
give a shout out
important
to
to me.
2 people who have befriended me on my PSN since the last time I was doing it. One is one of my friends. He has a pretty big house. I call it a mansion, but he's so humble. He's like, no, it's nothing like a mansion. Really, I count like 6 bedrooms, and I'm pretty sure you have like 3 bathrooms. I've only seen 2, but I'm pretty sure there's a 3rd one just hidden somewhere, or probably in one of the bedrooms. But whatever. He was a pretty cool guy. And then the second person, I'm assuming he went onto the channel and he saw that saw my PSN code, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll just put you in." And he goes by the name of Florida Boy. Right? So if you're watching this, Florida Boy, why? Right? Thanks for becoming a friend and stuff. You sent the message to me. I have yet to check it out. Now, so I can't really spoil what the message says. All I know is that it's the message. The reason why I know this is because the PS3 is on right now. Because I wasn't because a few hours before I actually start recording this. Because to be honest, I'm recording these at night. Right. And one of the main reasons why I'm recording it at night, mainly why I do these at night, not because I can barely sleep at night. No, that's something completely different. Anyway, the reason why I record these at night is because it's very quiet, and usually you just hear me talking. There have been a couple nights where I was like, okay, I'm about to record, and all of a sudden I hear my neighbors. They're like drunk or something, like slamming the door. Good night. And I fall asleep for about 7 or 8 hours before waking up and realize, oh my gosh, it's close to 10 in the morning. Fuck. That is not how I want to spend my vacation. I need to get myself strapped up, pepped up, ready to go. Especially after the monthly catering weekend. My first class starts at 9 a.m. in the morning. And if I'm waking up at 10 a.m. in the morning, oh god, that is bad mojo right there. That's bad shit right there. I guess, but back to what I was saying about how, about the reason why I record these at night is because it's just very quiet, very solitude on that. But of course, another thing that I've noticed it for quite some time now, it's going on a few years now, is I really don't like waking up in the morning. I am very drowsy, very groggy. I barely speak. I'm like walking like a zombie. And it's not as pretty. I mean, sure, I've developed the skill to wake up when I want to. In fact, I realized that the more times I sleep on the floor, the more times I'll actually wake up once I hear the alarm go off. Yay! Yay! That is bad news for my bed. Especially when I do end up changing the sheets every other week, and the sheets still look brand new. Or at least they look as clean as they were when they came out, and they barely look touched at all. Because for some reason I go into very deep sleep in my bed. Like literally I can sleep for 12 hours and not realize that a time has passed. It's pretty slow. So, yeah. Of course I've been sort of learning more about the craft of Let's Playing. I mean, sure, this is 2014. I've been LPing since April of 2010, so over 3 years. And one of the things I've learned, I can barely go over 200. In fact, the only reason why I probably had 200, I've mentioned this multiple times before, is because the fact that I've uploaded a video. It was a bony video, and it had the simplest of editing, but it edited the season 2 finale with this one dude's fan-made ending, and I decided to just mesh it together to the best of my abilities, and man, were people just tripping balls when I got a lot of hate mail, mainly from quote unquote soccer moms or something like that. I don't know. A couple of them seem male, a couple of them seem female. I don't really give a fuck. Like, they were complaints. I don't care what your gender is. You were complaining. You didn't have to tell me. You just said, "How dare you trick me like that?" That my something-year-old watch this, and then and they were scared shit or something like that. Of course, they didn't say shit. They were trying to their best not to cuss me out. Although one person did cuss me out, and then I wanted to call foul play, but no. It's one thing to see a troll, another is to react to it. It's better to see it than to try to communicate with it. Otherwise, you're gonna be living in a world of text-based replies and then the quote-unquote cliche of don't be a troll. So troll is like going to a museum to check out the animals. The only difference is the troll is there is no barrier that protects the troll except for, I guess, confidentiality, internet-wise, because no one knows your actual name on the internet unless you give it out to people. I don't give it out to people. Although if you do track some of the links that are associated with COMPUTEROSIS, you may or may not find my first and last name. I cannot verify that. I cannot agree or disagree that is true or false. I'm just saying that there are certain things that are connected to DNA COMPUTEROSIS. So there's that. Yeah. But I think there's not much to say about I'm about Hallow Bastion. Hallow Bastion is pretty straightforward. There isn't really nothing truly secret. I know I found like a couple of new treasure chests during my Final Mix playthrough. That was one because I was like, I mentioned this before. I've seen speedruns of this. And it's just to see, oh, how could you do it that fast? And then sorry about that. You can obviously tell I'm tired, but nah. But of course, this one person I was watching, and he showed off this one treasure chest. Now, at first, usually when he shows the treasure chest that you haven't seen yet, you're like, oh boy, what is it? Oh, it's a gummy piece. Oh, well, okay then. But no, this particular treasure chest had something that was very valuable to me, or at least I always put like a higher point value to it, and that was like an AP up. Yep. Because sure, I can increase my attack, I can increase my defense, but increasing the amount of ability points I have, fuck yeah, I want to have as many abilities I have on hand. Like really, that has to be a lot. But yeah,
no,
yeah,
not without Kyrie.
I
The
guess,
darkness will destroy
in terms of Kingdom Hearts,
You're wrong,
there was something,
The
I
darkness
wanted
may
to
destroy my
review
body,
of the
but it can't
1.5
touch
strategy
my heart.
guide book. And of course I had it
My
all
heart
set
will
up,
stay with my
it was gonna be like,
It'll never die.
like sort of the same
Really?
amount of editing I was putting
We'll
into
just see
the
about that.
video, which I sort of put on stop because I fell into a bit of a burn, last month,
You'd
and
betray your king?
I just
Not on your life.
couldn't
But I'm not gonna
put more
betray
focus into
Sora
it.
either, 'cause he's
But,
become one of my
I mean,
best
I've been
buddies
listening
after
to
all
my
we've been
audio
through together.
recordings over and over, and I'm
See you
like,
later, Donald. Could you
I
tell
feel
the
like
king
I
I'm
should
really
just
sorry?
re-record that, but then I'm already way too deep into it, and it's just that, and then of course following to the whole like backlash notion of certain things
Well, I
and
guess you're stuck with us,
things
Sora.
that's completely irrelevant
Thanks
to
a
Kingdom
lot,
Hearts, but still
Donald,
it
Goofy.
slowly gets to me.
How will you
I
fight
may
without a weapon?
approach stuff in
I
the
know
most
now I don't need the
emotionless
Keyblade.
most
I've got a
emotionless
better
way a
weapon.
human can possibly
heart.
go without saying that
heart?
they are
What
like a
good will that
robot
weak little thing do for you?
or someone with
Although my heart may be weak,
no
it's not
just a
alone.
robot in general.
It's grown with each new
But
experience.
then
and it's
slowly
found a
but
home with
surely
all the friends I've
does
made.
get to me, and
I've become part of
and
their heart just as they
it
become
starts
part
taking
of
its
mine.
toll,
And if they think of
and
me now and then,
even though
if they don't forget me,
it won't
then
be
our
said
hearts will be
through
one.
whatever voice I have,
I don't
it's
need a
there.
weapon. My
It's
friends are my
there,
power.
it's in, and it just So that, but hopefully I can get back to it once I have free time. I mean, this semester I barely have any classes to do. I mean, I only have 2 classes, and I don't have lectures to write, but next month I'm trying to do like uploading. Starting off with the series finale of Finalix HD, where you will see all 3 trophies get accumulated. Or no. Well, you gotta see to find out. I mean, the second to last episode, there was a big, huge plot twist that really could make or break one of the trophies. Yeah, that shit happens. So, keep a look at that. And as much as I want to say those random things. Let me just like we gotta sleep off. No, I've been set to where just the screen goes black, but let the computer doesn't sleep until I actually close it. So it works out well whenever I'm uploading videos because it takes a while for me to sleep. Sure, I can press this here to do that file to make videos. Like I found the neat way of how I can basically render videos in close to about 5 to 6 hours tops before I upload them, and then uploading them takes about twice as long. So you're looking at 10 to 12 hours, depending on if the connection's good. Because just one little slip would just fuck everything up, and then I'll just end up being late on schedule. So, for those of you who are wondering what day I'm recording this on, if this was uploaded on Friday, this was actually recorded after midnight, leading into Thursday morning. That's the best way I can describe it. Because I can't say Thursday morning, because morning would insist that it's over. I guess it's over like 4 or 5 p.m. 4 or 5 a.m. Sorry. Alright, so and it's not even close to dawn, I think, or whatever the hell it's called. Dusk. No, dusk is after evening, and dawn's before morning, I guess. But then again, the starts. Nah, fuck it, I don't care. I don't. I'm sorry for all those of you that really wanted to care about that. I'm sorry, it's not something I think about. All I do is think about is, alright, so the video is this long, and Showbiz plays the video at this speed, and the thing will officially stop until it reaches that point. So how do I make sure I talk for that long to make sure that it gets through? So yeah, I'm sorry if I don't have anything to say about Hallow Bastion. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. There isn't really nothing. There's no real big shortcut that you need to do to make sure that you go through this as quickly as possible. There isn't really anything like that at all. I think the same can be said for Neverland, the same can be said for Atlantis, if you really want to try and do speedrun, which I've noticed when I try doing a speedrun, or at least try to complete Atlantis as quickly as possible, I realized that it falls almost similar to the Deep Jungle thing, where there is a sense of backtracking. Because with Deep Jungle, you start up in the treehouse, you head to the camp, and then you head up into the vines, and then you head back into the camp, and then you head back to the treehouse, and then you head back to the camp, and then you leave, you go to different locations. Nations. And hopefully the treehouse is your second to last location, so you can jump down down
See ya.
the other side just to land in the pit where the claimed boss fight will be. Before you head back into the camp. And then you leave the camp, head into the little grassy area thingy.
Fire!
To beat up a very poisonous plant or something like that. And then you head back into the camp, and only then will you head into the thing that you go to the box. I know I skipped the part where you go back to the camp, and then you head and defeat the boss, or at least you defeat the saber-tooth tiger thing. Before heading back into the camp, you realize you're missing, and then you head up there, I think. Yeah, I did realize you missed that. I apologize. But with Atlantica, you start out in that little area where you did the whole tutorial thing, which I still find to be total bullshit. But whatever. Opinions, subjectivity, opinions. And then you head all your way back to try and throw, and then you head over to Ariel's area, Wonderman, stuff like that. And then you head back into I forgot what the area is, but you basically hitched a ride on the fucking dolphin, and that takes you somewhere where that's interesting.
Why? It was
oh
mine.
My gosh, I barely remember the
The
pathway.
heart that is strong and
in
true
Atlantica.
shall win the key to
God damn it, barely remember
What?
that. Then
You're
again,
saying my heart's weaker than
and then-
his?
That's my least
For that
favorite world
instant
in
it
Kingdom
was.
Hearts. In Kingdom Hearts 2,
However,
if I had
you
a
can become
top
stronger.
5 list of top 5 worlds in Kingdom Hearts
you
2
show
that I
no fear in
really
stepping
enjoy
through
going
the door
into,
to darkness.
believe it or
Tell
not,
no
Atlantica
terror
will
for
be
you.
in that top 5 because I really
Plunge
like that
deeper into
world.
the darkness,
Well, sure, I don't
and
like
your heart will grow
certain
even
aspects of it,
stronger.
but man,
What should
there
I do?
are. I think there was like
It's
2
really quite
songs.
simple.
2 like song-related stuff where I
Open
enjoyed the
yourself to
fuck
the
out of it, and
darkness.
one of them is
That is
indeed
all.
the boss fight song. I love
Let your
that thing
heart,
to
your
death.
being become darkness
That
itself.
just felt so good. Good. And I know it's one of those things where you just have to be biased about, that you just love it that much. And for me, that's it. The only one thing I'm concerned about Atlantica in that area is the fact that they literally have it set up to where you literally have to leave the world, and if you don't have the item or ability on hand, then you get that ability or whatever it is on hand before going back in. But even if you chose Atlantica to be one of the spiral world, because you've been there before, you know the course requirements, you know that you need those certain amount of spells, that you need to have this certain ability on hand. Man, that you want to but even then, you're like, okay, you got past playing Under the Sea, Kingdom Hearts 2 edition. Yeah, go for the next song. Wait, why the fuck did they kick me in? Ah, damn it. Let me back in. Triangle, let me in. Yeah, I don't think it was fixed in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. Which, by the way, still excited. Really excited. There's a lot of shit's gonna go down. I'm gonna take care of it all in beginner, and then standard, I'm just gonna go straightforward, don't give a shit, and then primal, same thing, because fuck. Certain aspects, Kingdom Hearts 2, completion, Jimmy the Fuck. Don't think that's just fuck you, Jimmy. Fuck you. go. Just go. There's so much. I mean, sure, I got quote unquote lucky by getting platinum on Final Mix HD. I know it's gonna take a very long time to get a platinum in Chain of Memories. That's only if I'm in the mood to play it, because man, Chain of Memories to me is a mood killer. Chain of Memories to me is not a mood killer, but at the same time, I can't play it too long. Like, I can still pick up and play it at any time, Chain of Memories or GBA, but I have to make sure I don't play it for too long. Otherwise, it will remind me that I do not like Chain of Memories. And once I get into that mindset, I need to just stop, save whatever it is I have on, and just stop playing other things. Super fries. And that was like some of the things I was thinking about as I was doing the interview. Like there were certain things I wanted to talk about, but then I was trying my very best to just talk about just the overall differences. I still left my opinion on it, what I think is best, and sorry, and it's even shown through the LP of both Chain of Memories and Rechain Memories. But this whole comparison video thing, I just wanted to keep it very, I guess as objective as I could, while still giving a personality to it. So I'm not just saying that Chain of Memories each room is very well legitimate. But in each memories, there is already a set piece, stuff like that. I didn't want to sound like that. I wanted to sound very natural, very conversationalist. That's basically what I do for any sort of script I'm reading out. I try to put a very natural tone to it. It's a very natural thing that very English dubbed thing. Anything that's with an English dub, there is that sense of trying to evoke that's so more of a natural idiom to the dialect itself. So even in the some of the classics, the anime series where the dubbing is quote unquote atrocious, there's still a sense of them trying their best to evoke some sort of emotion. But then at the time, they couldn't do as much because of how limiting they could do with editing. They just had to Sorry, I had to put that sound there just to give it something. But just imagine that sound whenever they do open up their mouth. And they just have to speak with them. And then of course, there is you who have dabbled into trying to American history, becoming like anime historian. I'm not supposed to. I used to be doing it in high school, and then I just stopped because I've been recently stopped. Although there will come a time when I go back into just researching history, and or at least just history and anime in general. Just be almost like the anime equivalent to my friend said himself, who's basically turn it into just sort of a young Disney historian, with mostly focusing on just anything that came from like Walt Disney himself, like Walt Disney's life and times of Walt Disney, or just anything that came out of Walt Disney, the company. He doesn't follow too much of Disney Channel itself, so and for me that would be the I guess my equivalent to that would be I don't know, like following another company that's not Funimation, like Manga Entertainment. Because that's the only second company I think of. God damn it, Funimation. I buy a lot of movies that seem to come from Funimation. There are a few exceptions though, but the majority of them are from Funimation. And sometimes they just wait for Funimation to be like, Funimation, get the license to the complete series. Release it.
So,
say it's
I see the path has emerged at last.
Yes.
And
The keyhole to the darkness.
Close to $30 for it.
Unlock it.
40 if.
And the Heartless will overrun this world.
If it's like limited
What do
edition,
I
or it
care?
has some
The darkness
special
holds
features
no
that
power over me.
interest me very, very
Rather,
much.
I will use its power to rule all worlds.
Because even
Such
if you
confidence.
don't like a particular series, still sometimes just listening to Funimation
Oh.
comedy is like it's like pretty awesome. Just listening
Impossible.
to listening
The princesses
to
of
some
heart are
people
all
that
here.
They're like
It
people
must
who
be
like
her.
who were not only voicing characters during the English dub, but also they were
Without her heart,
working with.
she will
like,
never be able to release her power.
with just like the technical aspects of it, and just seeing them interact during the
The king's
commentaries.
fools are here.
Sometimes it just makes some of like the serious animes,
I'll deal
and
with them
then
myself.
just commentaries just make it seem
You
like
stay
as if
here
it's just
and
a
guard the
freaking comedy.
princesses.
But yeah, pretty cool. That one. Oh God, where did I transfer back and forth to? I think that's something that sort of happens. I guess. I'm gonna make the screen go back. And according to the screen, Beast, you're stuck in a corner. Stop it. And I guess, okay, this is right after. At least on my screen, this
I'm
is
afraid
right
you're
after
too late.
when Sora has
Any moment now, the
unlocked
final keyhole will
front
be
door
unsealed.
by
This
going
world
into
will be
a whole
plunged into
passageways.
darkness. It is unstoppable.
Now, just for the
We'll
fun of
stop
it,
it.
I'm just
After coming this far, there's
basically
no way we're
moving it
gonna
back
let
to the
that
way it was
happen.
before.
You
Tor-
poor, simple fools.
Which,
You
by the
think
way,
you can defeat
kind of
me?
have to in order to get out.
Me, the mistress
I know there was
of
like
evil!
one button during that surge area where you could just leave it alone after leaving, but at this point,
Hurry! Take that! Ha! Come on!
Kingdom Hearts
Take that!
2.5. But 2.5 would be the more popular of the HD remix. Mainly because it's going to be featured two games that will have more than enough content to have you for days on end. And then the cinematic movie would probably only be like 30 to 45 minutes worth. I don't know. I'm hoping. There's a part of me that hopes that's an hour long. I don't know why. It sounds. In theory, I'm like, oh, I wouldn't mind it being an hour. But then my actualness is like, what the fuck, man? You do remember those cutscenes, right? I mean, you did try to nearly 100% that game, and you do realize how the majority of cutscenes usually add up to about 30 minutes. I don't see why. Just stop. Which reminds me of certain conversations where people are having about Dream Drop Distance. Basically, by next year, 2015, will be the year that it is okay for it to be released again on something different. Like, for instance, Recoding came out in 2011. See, Recoding, it came out in 2011 on DS. That made it very foul play. It basically made it a very fair game to be put in there. Cause I was thinking about how big the age gap is, or at least the year gap between when the DS version came out and when this HD cinematic. This HD cinematic, at least in Japan, is going to come out this year. There's no actual date, but it's coming out this year. Which means they're partying on this go to they just need to basically put everything up, put up the final mixes for both games, and just put it at a very higher edge, resolution. Which will go double for Birth by Sleep, since it was using a PSP game that its quality was basically at a 480p widescreen. So, and then they have to update that into a 1080p HD widescreen itself. Now, and before you say anything, yes, there is such a thing as basically 1080p letterbox. It's a format that's rarely used, and I can't give you any specific examples because it's probably something that is probably out of my jurisdiction of what I tend to either watch and or play. So, what can you do? Not what interrupted, sailor. No, I say butter a lot. Like, but, yeah. It either ends with a butter, yeah, or I say butter, and then I continue with what I have to say. It's funny. It's funny when you do pick up certain things that you do right away before someone reminds you that, which, I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I'm actually one of those people that does remind you of something that happened years past, and there's probably a part of you that wished I didn't mention it or brought it up when I began. And usually I would bring it up. Sometimes it would tie into what the conversation is and stuff like that. Just like that. Like it's almost like those moments. Ow, God. I'm trying to think of a good example of this. Like, it's like one of those things where someone like holds a grudge and they're like, I remember this. I'll get my revenge in 7 years. And then you're like, yeah, whatever. And then 7 years pass, you totally forgot about it. And also like, haha, I'm back for vengeance. Vengeance. And then they literally tell you like almost the same thing, just to keep you up to speed, and then in your mind you're like, oh, god damn it. So, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh god, oh Genie. I think, damn it, I wish I could say more about Hallow Bastion, but I can't. Everything else is basically well beyond what Hallow Bastion really is. And is because even though this place is a Hallow Bastion, Ikira too realized that a Hallow Bastion is actually a lot more bigger than this. There actually is a town. Apparently it has Scrooge McDuck. And the continued rivalry between Cloud and Sephiroth, And I
you
still
need some
wish
help?
Kingdom Hearts 3
Riku!
would have their own little continuation
A
like ending
keyblade.
to
But
these,
unlike
to
yours,
the
this
the
keyblade
Cloud and-
holds the power
Cloud
to
and
unlock
Sephiroth,
people's hearts.
debacle.
Allow me to demonstrate.
Go. And of course, it can be based upon what Final Fantasy
Now,
7
open your
story
heart.
of Cloud and Sephiroth,
Surrender it to the darkness.
while simultaneously
Become
just
darkness
making
itself.
it its own within the Kingdom Hearts universe.
This is it. This power.
So yeah,
Darkness. The true darkness.
But if I do that, I'm not even falling asleep. Because I do remember the one time I was I want to say this was like past literally just laying down sleeping. I wake up. No. I guess here's something that's actually quite understandable. Unfortunately, but I've noticed pretty another thing that alright, this is gonna be pretty nice. This during the whole time before this, I've been now sorry. For those of you who have not known and they're about to be caught to speed, everything I record is recorded through our club showcase. It is a program that I've been using for the last 30 years. I technically own it. Standard depth in full screen, which people don't realize that this is not full screen. This is white. Full screen is where it's a box. It's basically a box. There's bars to the side. There's like big bars to the side. You wanna know why? It's a full screen. Used to only one stand. That actually existed. Especially if you're around. You gotta remember. Don't forget about the old tech stuff. Even though, to be honest, the highest tech is called What the fuck was I talking about? I have no idea. Riku basically got into his man's skill. So it's about to be the battle between Sora and I think you battle him again later. Which that battle itself is pretty self-explanatory. In the first battle, just do a whole up game bang. Press X and that's X and triangle.
How ironic.
Triangle synchronize.
She was just another puppet after all.
Really want to get some variety going. I'm pretty sure you can synchronize.
The Heartless were using Maleficent from the beginning. She failed to notice the darkness in her heart eating away at her.
To point that on screen, it just looks
A
very
fitting end for such a fool.
I'm not too sure. I'm not sure on that. Yeah, I'm just super tired. And we already surpassed the halfway point. So yay, there's still more things to do. While simultaneously I'm getting more and more relaxed, and I'm making sure that the microphone I'm using is really connected and all that. Okay, I now remember. What I was gonna say. It had something to do with keeping people to speak. Involving the whole recording process. You see, I've recorded everything from outside Showbiz. I basically own 1.5 capture devices. The half is basically a joint payment between me, Hieroglyph, and Song Southfair. The microphone ultimately is 1.5, but me being the other capture device, the printer being Hieroglyph in that retrospect, depending on how much was paid for either one. So as I get done recording stuff, it's on me say for Arthur Showbiz, and then from there I get to do basically try to do audio fluctuations with the total like 2 different two different audio files.
Kyrie, open your eyes.
It's just the video file.
It's no use.
With the audio included, and then the audio file, which comes from the post.
That girl has lost her heart.
And
she cannot wake up.
Oh yeah, this is all the reason why I'm recording using headphones.
You're not Riku.
Ironically, even though there's
the keyhole cannot be completed
to it,
so long as the last princess of hearts still sleeps.
but it's like planned irony.
The princess?
Yeah, back to the
Kyrie's a princess?
Where
yes. And without her power, the keyhole will remain incomplete. It is time she awakened.
Whoever you are, let Riku go. Give him back his heart.
But first,
one of the downsides to it,
you must give the princess back her heart.
You can only record within the given clip. You can't go over it. You can't go under it.
Don't you see yet?
Whatever it is,
the princess's heart is responding.
Is when when the limit
It has been there all along.
That's how much
Kyrie's heart rests within you.
audio file is taken at that
Kyrie-
time. If you delete it and then
Kyrie's
bring it
inside
back,
me?
sure, it's gonna bring the whole entire yard, and you're gonna
I
have
know
to go
all
and
that there
set
is
it
to know.
accordingly, especially
Tell
when
me,
especially
who
when
are
it's
you?
a very long
It is I,
line of
Ansem,
people.
the
Well,
seeker
I forgot
of
what
darkness.
What the rich term would be in terms of damn it, it's not coming to me. Most because of the fact that I'm probably that I'll never be rich.
So,
At
I
least
shall
in
release you
that
now,
sense,
princess.
that would make me go.
Complete the
That
keyhole
is
with your
the word
power.
I was looking for.
Open
all
the door.
years ago.
Lead me into everlasting
Yeah, 'cause
darkness.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Nothing. Whatever.
Sora!
So, from this point on, if I don't,
Forget it.
if it's gonna be a long pause,
There's no way
that's
you're
when
taking
it's
Kyrie's heart.
And I've got myself really in. And I know we're only barely halfway through.
Defend!
Right now, I'm just gonna say, I hope you enjoyed the commentary. In the next episode,
Come on!
Show me your power.
I'm just gonna
Take that!
Now witness true power.
Defend!
in the content of it,
Welcome, Oblivion.
Come on!
Here comes. Give up yet? Is that it?
This is it!
Welcome, Oblivion.
Right. Anyway, one of the things I did was I switched out so the content B from drawing B then moved into drawing A. Yeah. And it's essentially going to be just exchange some stuff.
This is it!
Welcome, Oblivion.
Defend!
Your heart is darkness.
Usually when we first come
It's over. Here it comes. Behold the power of darkness. It's over. Here it comes. Behold the power of darkness. It's over.
but I'm really happy with the results. All the video games are all in one shelf, all the books are in one shelf. There's a section of my shelf that's currently being occupied by the devil himself. But before he asked me, I did not. And no, I did not use the
Behold the power of darkness. It's over.
Well, I think today
it won't work. The keyhole's not finished yet.
New anime series. Release
What can we do?
Maybe we gotta go wake Kyrie up.
That are coming into my
Think you're
library.
right.
One
we
is
can free your
about
heart.
basically a middle school class trying to figure out how can they solve the mystery of why is there a thirds,
A keyblade that unlocks people's hearts.
missing and
I wonder.
Sora?
Punch. Yeah.
Sora, hold on!
Sorry, just nothing.
Sora! What's happening to me? Falling into darkness.
Sora? Are you really? No, he can't be. I won't let him go!
So, you have awakened at last, Princess. The keyhole is now complete. You have served your purpose, but now it's over.
Do you think we can stop him all by ourselves?
I don't know.
Impossible.
No! You won't use me for this!
Riku!
You've gotta run! The Heartless are coming!
What about the keyhole?
Let's just get out of here.
that you? This time I'll protect you.
Kyrie, thank you.
Sora!
Go now!
Come with us!
I told you before, I'm not leaving without Belle. Now go! The Heartless are coming.
All right. Let's get out of here.
Tell me what happened. So the darkness is flowing out of that keyhole.
No wonder there are more and more Heartless everywhere. The only way to stop them is...
Seal the keyhole, right?
Maybe, but no one knows what will happen once it's sealed.
Well, we can't just stay here. We have to do something. I've got a friend back there.
That's right. You have one more friend to worry about. Riku's Keyblade must have been born of the captive princess's hearts. Just like that keyhole you saw. Of course, without Kyrie's heart, it remained incomplete. Once that Keyblade was destroyed, the princess's hearts should have been freed. Don't worry, Sora. If anyone can save your friend, you can.